Welcome back. The clock is ticking on a deal for TikTok. Late last week, the president announced he struck this agreement to spin off the American version of the company from the Chinese company ByteDance amid worries that the government of China has been using TikTok to spread propaganda.
American investors taking it over, running it, highly sophisticated, including Larry Ellison. And Oracle, I guess, is going to play a very big role in terms of security, safety, and everything else.
And joining us with more on this deal are Brody Ford, who reports on the tech industry for Bloomberg News, and Tim Wenninger, a professor in the School of Engineering at Notre Dame, who focuses his research on social media. Great to talk to both of you. Tim, first with you, remind us how influential TikTok is, especially among the younger generation, and these concerns about potential propaganda that people might receive at the hands of the Chinese government.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. That's a great question to get things kicked off. TikTok is massively influential in the United States. Fully 170 million Americans have TikTok accounts and access it regularly. And of course, among those 170 million Americans who access it regularly, fully 1 in 5, according to a Pew poll a few months ago, 1 in 5 Americans use TikTok as their primary source of news. And so if you think about the propaganda, the information, a lot of Americans, they use TikTok as the lens through which they see the world.
Wow, that's a lot of people. 1 in 5 is no small number. Brody Ford, the president issues this executive order to spin off an American version of the company with a bunch of allies as investors like Rupert Murdoch and Larry Ellison. So what do you think this means for the company and for the content?
It means some certainty if you're a TikTok user, right? It's been in this kind of funny limbo state since Trump's first term when he tried to ban it. He tried to sell it off to Larry Ellison then as well. Under President Biden, they signed this law saying that, okay, you're going to have to divest it to a group of American investors. And finally, over a year later, we're seeing a framework approved. And so what this means is that a small sliver of the kind of overall TikTok empire really is going to be cordoned off. Oracle is going to provide the technical backbone, and they're going to have to figure out how to keep this in a format where it appeases everybody, that it's properly separate from the Chinese parent company. They say this shouldn't really impact the user experience. The algorithm shouldn't change too much. But a lot of this stuff remains a work in progress. I mean, we haven't seen full indication the Chinese government has signed off, but we've seen a pretty significant first step here with the executive order.
Yeah, I think we need to see what the Chinese government is going to do here. But you brought up the algorithm. Tim, tell us, all these social media platforms are really reliant on this algorithm. I don't know if people realize the extent of it, the power of it, how it controls what's going to be put before your eye. First of all, explain how this algorithm works. And B, do you think that having some of these investors in charge of the algorithm means maybe they want to control it to have content that's favorable to their political persuasions?
Yeah, great questions. First of all, the algorithm, if you will, these are AI systems. And so we've been hearing a lot about AI in recent years. But the way that social media companies like TikTok work is there's an AI system that is recommending to each individual user an individual stream of information. So if you're on TikTok, you see a video, and if you engage with it, if you like it, it'll show you a video that's similar to it. And it's a complicated math that goes into these recommendations that you see. And so maybe you are shopping online and you'll say that people who like this have also purchased this thing. The AI systems on TikTok or the other social media companies work in much the same way. If you've liked this video, then you're likely to like these other videos. And to your second point then, my understanding with the investitures of the local group here, it's important to remember that ByteDance, which is the parent company of TikTok, the Chinese company that we're worried about, will still maintain about 20% ownership of TikTok in America. In addition, there's of course Larry Ellison, Michael Dell, Rupert Murdoch, these are kind of tech titans who all seem to be, at least at present, friendly with the Trump administration. They will then now be in charge of this AI system. And if they so wish, they have every right and opportunity to potentially nudge the algorithm, the AI system, in whatever way they choose.
And I think it's clear from X that Elon Musk has nudged the algorithm in a certain direction. Brody, can the president simply sign an executive order, China agrees, and poof, this is done, or is there more things that have to happen here?
The money will have to flow, and they're going to have to rebuild an algorithm here, right? The plan is that at first they're going to lease it from ByteDance, and then they're going to retrain it. And all these questions around what direction are you going to train the algorithm in, what kind of content will be favored, these is what everyone's going to be watching for, right? Trump joked that he said, of course, I'd love it to be 100% MAGA, but it's going to be fair to everybody. I'm certain that everyone is going to scrutinize all these decisions. They're going to look at their For You page and they're going to say, wow, this seems biased now, even if it's not. I mean, that's the problem with a lot of algorithms. It's so opaque that a lot of folks are going to say that it feels unfair no matter what side you're on. And so there's a lot of steps still that have to happen, including who the final investor groups are. There's three major folks here. You've mentioned Oracle and Larry Ellison. This is kind of a titan of a prior generation of tech. We have Silver Lake, which is a kind of one of these investment titans nobody knows the name of, but they're investing a lot of money into a lot of things. And we have the Emirati group, MGX.
All
And
right.
so these are going to be kind of the three main ones.
All right, Brody Ford, thanks very much. Brody
Thank
Ford
you.
and Tim Wenninger. I got to leave it there because we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. And that is it for us tonight. We're back tomorrow night on the Chicago Report. Have a great night, everybody.